So you see that price eventually sold off, but it had already taken me out, right? Because I was impatient, so I had to wait for price to touch this top trend line over here, but I was impatient, so I got stopped out. Anyways, this M30 candle that's happening right now, it could have another good sell-off. So the reason I'm entering here is because although we have reached the bottom of the trend line, we have reached a zone where price is likely to start buying, and this is where most buyers are located. But for me, once I have that break of structure, I will sell, and then I'll be holding. I went for a full margin sale here, right? This is a full margin sale, and I'm expecting that price could drop until we reach around $6 of profit for the first 0.01 position. But so far we're drifting in profit and loss, but I'll be updating you very soon. Why is this setup good? Because I told you that after the breakout we are going to have that massive drop, and this massive drop in this example, it ends around here, around $18. So that's what I'm looking for here. So in $200, so we shall go again, full margin entries until price reaches, until in the next 5 minutes this candle closes, then we shall close. All right, the target for this account is $1,000. So the worst thing that can happen, we blow everything and we go back to zero. But so far you see that we're already in 1k, so I'll close everything. Okay, so our TP has been successfully reached, right? Okay, it has been successfully reached. If we measured our first TP, it's been successfully reached. So I'll take my buys here. So having a bit of a pullback, maybe around $77. That is the next M15 candle. Okay, but the reason I entered my buys is because when the first tip is reached, usually price makes a pullback to the trend line. That's why I entered my buys there. But I won't risk too much. Oh, this sell can close it. Okay, so let's wait for this to play out. I'll be updating you guys. Okay, let's close. So most people are now being confused. They don't know if they want to sell or buy. But I would say that the best optimal sell zone is when price touches the area of resistance. So you see that price has come to this area almost 2 times, right? But here's the crucial fact: price won't just simply start buying. No, it will buy, but in the next coming candles. So here, if you're able to understand this principle, you can sell the 2 lot size, right? And then the target can be down here, just down here, because that's where price usually ends. You don't buy, you sell, right? You sell and then you let price do its thing, because in those next 2 minutes price will first sell aggressively before it starts to push up. So you have to be very vigilant on that. And the worst thing that can happen is that we hit our stop loss for the day. So my stop loss for the day would be $358. Times 2 position, that's around 600. So let's wait a bit. So I could be wrong here, but I'll just stick with my sales because I know there are so many sellers who have come into the market and they are trying to like short it. Okay. Close. Okay, so shall stick with these time frames for now. Shall go to the H1 so that we can observe the market structure a little bit more. So from the H1, recognize that price has made this huge push and it's forming a bit of like a triangle. This candle has 29 minutes left, so 29 minutes divided by 2, that's 15. So this new M15 candle will first of all make the pullback. So we shall go to the M1. Let's wait for this pullback to happen because we can't time it exactly. Or we know that it could end here. So I shall put my sell stop, sell limit, sell limit there. Then I shall be holding until we reach the bottom again. Stop loss shall be just above here. That's around $600. We can only discredit this if we start to have some push upward. Let's first remove these trend lines here so that you can see exactly what I've drawn. So from 500 we are now in 1k. So today we have made a deposit of 1.3k and we have made a loss of $300, so that we're in just recovery mode. Okay, so the reason why most people lose is because when they reach this stage where they're in recovery, they tend to overtake poor quality setups. So remember, the worst thing that can happen is that we blow the account. So I don't want you to forget that we can blow this account. So we had the breakout. Now this is the retest. This candle has 2 minutes left. That means it has enough potential to go inside the trend line. We shall make it go inside by taking our buys. Lot size, why not big? So we shall go inside up to here. That will be 300. Okay. Then $300 plus. But you know that price will likely have some bit of a push to the upside before it drops. So this will be my maximum stop loss if I were you. And the worst thing that can happen will blow the account. So let me just come back a bit. Let me come back in a minute. Okay, shall we close? I hope you guys understood why I took that buy. I took that buy because this candle on the M5 had like 2 minutes left. So I took a buy here because we had the probability the price could first push up higher. So yeah, that's why I closed out a bit early, because when I'm happy with my profit I close. I don't wait for. But Typical TP is for price to touch the trend line there up. So let's wait and observe. Okay, so I've touched the top trend line. You go to the M1. Price has not yet touched the top trend line, right? Just like a 1-2, but we are lucky to have a black push. So I've given you this just so that you can understand my psychology. I tell you that when I'm trading, for me the worst thing that can happen is that I blow the whole account, right? I lose everything, right? But also, when I'm trading, I also want to be from the perspective that market can literally do anything. This is a volatile market, so it can literally do anything that it does that it wants. So you see that over here, price is now starting to break the trend line. I usually don't like drawing so many trend lines because it's a bit hectic. So yeah, I put my stop loss here because we had lots of resistance there. So if price goes under there, then we could be looking for sales. But on the M5 so far, so from the H1 perspective, I told you that this is the last M15 candle, right? So it won't. It will appear as though it's going to go outside, and most people will be fooled into thinking that it's going to start doing what? Selling. But if you observe, we have had so many candles that have resisted breaking this trend line, right? So this candle here, it will close inside the trend line, then the second candle will break. I don't know if that makes any sense. Have I told you what I'm going to do? That this candle here will first sell off, and then after it has confused a lot of people that it's going to sell, then it will impulsively buy. So you can go to the time frame like the M5 so that you can see this more clearly. Let me first remove everything. Let's close even this. No, sorry. Let's close these sell limits. Okay. So I told you that if you observe from the left over here, price has been resisting to break this area for over certain candles, right? So that means that it's not yet ready to break that trend. Price is not yet ready to break to the downside, right? Why is it not so ready? Because we have seen resistance from 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 candles have resisted breaking this structure here. So that means that price will first have some bit of desire to break going upwards before it pushes down. So for more clarity, you can go to the M5 and then look for instance, when I go to the M5, I want to look for that candle that broke. Okay, when you go to the M5, some people do trend lines like this. Okay, they can do their trend lines like this, and then so they throw their trend lines. They say my stop loss has been hit, by the way, so I was wrong, which is fine. So we have this kind of trend line over there. So we say that price made that it tried to go up, but it failed, right? It tried to go towards this trend line, but it failed. Now once price fails, we always have that continuation push, but I've told you already that you measure that continuation push by measuring how far that price could go. So if you draw a trend lines over here, realize that price is almost close to the first TP. So it's almost close. Price is almost close to the full TP. it's almost very close to the full tip, which is down there, right? So here I would just recommend that if you have seen price at this bottom, I think it would be better if you just let it go. Otherwise, if you I will come back a little bit later and I will update you on this trade. Thank you for watching. But so far, yeah, we have taken that small account, the $500 into UK, so without risking too much, that is. So I'll be updating you on this account challenge. Thank you.